have our 40 days program going on, 40 days to a personal revolution. And there's a group of people in the studio who are committed to practicing regularly, meditating regularly, observing their food, and then also inquiry. So that's going on. And part of that happening at the studio is that some of that discovery that's going on in that program trickles down into the classes that are going on. So this week, the focus for 40 days is restoration. And while there's a whole style of yoga that we have here called restorative yoga, where you lay on blankets and pillows and it's very relaxing and calming, there's a quality of restoration that's available even inside of a fiery practice like the one that we're doing tonight. So as you move through your practice, I invite you to kind of look and listen to this quality of restoration as you move through. And I know for me, what that kind of means is returning back to a functional state. And so how can, as you go pose by pose, have the pose, the breath, the tools return you back to your ideal functioning state, whatever that happens to be for you. So we'll try it on tonight. Let's go ahead and get started, and we'll do that in child's pose. Bring your big toes together, take your knees to the width of the mat, nice and wide. So you have plenty of room for your ribs and your belly to relax down. Take your hands out wide and then relax your head to the floor. And right away, take a deep breath in through your nose and let a sigh come out through your mouth. Take a couple more breaths like that. And so right away, you might already be restoring that quality, that deep, slow, rhythmic quality to your inhales and your exhales. And then with your next inhale, lift up to downward facing dog. Good. Widen your hands, so hands out shoulder width distance apart. For some of you, maybe a little bit wider. Will give you access to more space and broadness across your chest and your upper back. And then as you set your hands, press all 10 of your fingertips deep down into the floor. Relax your head down. And then from the press of your hands, stretch your seat up and back towards the space behind you. And deep breaths here. And so already restoring some degree of length and extension through your spine. You might already be aware that it doesn't have that like laying on a pillow calm quality to it. There's a fiery quality to it, but yet there's still this quality of restoring your body. Take one more breath in. Blow all that air out. And then look at your hands, step up to the top of your mat. With your feet hip width distance apart, inhale, lift halfway. And then exhale, ragdoll pose. Relax your head down with an upside down letter U shape through your spine. Relax your shoulders down towards the floor. And as you press your feet into the earth, zip up through your inner thighs, lifting the pit of your belly up towards the front of your spine. Good. Then breathe there and see if you can bring a quality of just wide open, maybe warming quality to your lower back. Take 2 more breaths there. One more full breath in. Blow all the air out. And as you press down through your feet, roll up to stand. So one bone at a time. At the top, stretch your arms up. Open your fingers wide. Look up if that feels right. And then exhale your hands to heart center. Set your eyes to a point. Set an intention for your practice. And we'll begin with 3 ohms. Take a breath in. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up, press your seat way back, and then plant your palms, step back, high to low push up. So you could lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog, chest forward. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths in and out. Deep breath in and out. Now here's your last breath in. Blow all the air out. Look at your hands. And then move your feet up to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway up. And forward fold. Press down through your feet, reach up. Extended mountain pose. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift up. Low push up, take it back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Set your eyes to one point. Take 3 breaths. Restore your ability to focus on a single point with your eyes. Last breath in. Empty completely. Move your feet up to your hands. Lift halfway. And fold deeply. Reach all the way up. Get a big stretch up. And fold to the floor. Halfway lift up. Create length. And low push up. Take it back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. And breathe out together. 2 more breaths like that. Blow all the air totally out. And then move your feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain pose. Forward fold. Lift halfway up. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right on rhythm. Inhale. Exhale. It's almost like a heartbeat. In and out. Last breath in. Empty fully. Step or maybe float, feet to hands. Halfway lift up. Fold. Extended mountain pose. Stretch your arms all the way up. So even if they have to go wide, open up and then fold all the way down. Good. Lift halfway up. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Good. Take 3 breaths. 2 more. And it might be time for a sigh. Sighs are good anytime you think you need to level the energy out a bit. Yeah, last breath in. Release it. And then move your feet to your hands. Half lifts. Fold. Chair pose. Sit your hips back. Stretch your arms all the way up. And then fold to the floor. Halfway lift up. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot to your right thumb, warrior 1. So you'll spin your back heel down, reach all the way up, hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, left side warrior 1. Step, press down through your feet, reach, low push up. Upward facing, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths. Right, so there's a balance as you go through your sun salutations. And that balance is between getting a full pose in. Every pose is full, fully expressed, fully open. And at the same time, you are getting from one pose to the next with a quick clip. Right, so look at and play with restoring the balance between those two. Take a breath in. Blow all the air out. Move your feet to your hands. Lift halfway up, get the full stretch, tail to crown, and then fold. Chair pose, same thing. Press your seat way back, stretch all the way up, and then fold. Inhale, lift halfway up, get long, low push up. Upward facing dog, full stretch, chest forward. Downward facing dog, right side warrior 1. Reach all the way up through your fingertips, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now left side warrior 1. With that one breath, fully express out. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Give up the rocks. Give up that you've got to do it perfect or that there's some right way to do it. And see if you just can do it fully, whatever it is. Blow all the air out and then move your feet to your hands. Halfway lift up. Fold deep. Chair pose. Sit deep. Reach up and fold all the way down. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Wide open chest. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Stretch all the way up and then maybe stretch back. Low push up. Up dog. Low push up. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. One more sun B. 2 more breaths. Here's the last breath in. Blow all the air out. Feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. Utkatasana. Fold. Halfway lift up. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot warrior one. Stretch the sides of your body up to your fingertips. Low push up. Up dog. Down dog. Left side warrior one. Beautiful stretch all the way. Low push up. Upward facing dog. It feels good to open this way. Downward facing dog. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves that, right? Bring your big toes together to touch at the back of your mat. And then inhale your right leg high. Right leg high. Flex your lifted foot. And turn your lifted toes, all 5, down towards the floor. Watch the wall. And sometimes it's like that. You'll run into it to learn that it's there. And so press your leg up and back. Good. Take a breath in. And on the exhale, knee to your nose, crunch forward. Inhale, kick back. All 5 toes point down. Exhale, knee to your nose. Shoulders forward over your wrists. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, crunch in. See if your nose and your knee can touch. Inhale, kick back. Last time. Exhale, crunch all the way in. Now hold it. So you get your nose and your knee to touch. Really close up the gap and pull your front ribs up and in towards the center of your body. 2 more breaths. Take 1 more breath in. Stay for the out. And then step your right foot to your right thumb, crescent lunge. You like the heat, right? We're happy it's here. Lift your back heel up, some of you, so that you have your heel over the ball of your back foot. Beautiful. And then arrange your pelvis so the 2 hip points point straight to the front of the room. Now lunge deep. As your pelvis goes down, stretch all the way up to your fingertips. Take a breath in, then hands to heart, tip, and twist to the right side. Good. Squeeze your back thigh up towards the ceiling. You can say Erin has the option. She's dropped her back knee down, and that's certainly a way to take on the pose. So knee up or knee down, and then 2 more breaths. 1 more breath in. Blow all the air out. Crescent lunge on the inhale, reach up, and warrior 2, open up. And turn your front toes towards the front of the room. And I even like to turn my toes a little tiny bit to the right, just a pinch. Now bend your knee. Yeah, you kind of get like that inner thigh rolling up action, comes a little bit easier. Now lunge down. So you keep kind of lunging and working the lunge until your thigh is parallel to the floor. It doesn't have to be there today, but that's what you're going for. Take a breath in right where you're at, and now tilt, extended side angle. Stretch your top arm over your top ear, reach for the wall in front of you. Now 2 more breaths. Drive your back heel down. Stretch through your top arm. Take 1 more breath in. 2 hands to the floor, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Yeah, take another one of those. Big breath in. Clear it out. And then lift your left leg up and back. Good. All 5 toes, turn them down towards the floor. So there's a strong internal rotation of your top thigh. And then kick your top heel back, take a breath, Exhale, knee to your nose, crunch. Inhale, kick. Exhale, crunch. 2 more, kick and crunch. Last one, kick, crunch and hold. 5, keep breathing. 4, nose to your knee. 3, so tuck your chin, curl all the way in. 2, here's your last breath in. Stay for the full out, and then step your left foot forward, crescent lunge. Unravel all the way up. See if you can come right into the crescent lunge. Good. Press your front heel deep down into the floor, and then lift the front of your pelvis up towards your belly button. Good. Stretch high, take a breath in, and then crescent twist to the left side. And as you set your twist, put your attention on your spine from your tail to your crown and create that even rotation all the way out, from the bottom of your spine all the way up through the top. 2 more breaths. Last breath in, stay for the out, and then reach up, crescent lunge, open up, warrior 2. And stretch your front arm as much forward as your back arm is going back. And then expand through your chest and your upper back. And then breathe into all that space. Good, Erin. Take 1 more breath in. Now tilt, extended side angle. And bend your knee forward over your front heel. Drive your back heel down into the floor. And then accelerate all the way up to your top hand. 2 more breaths. Unleash your right rib cage. 1 more breath in. Hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take 1 breath in. Blow all the air out. Look forward. Step or jump, feet to your hands. Lift halfway up. And fold. Chair pose. Prayer twist to the right side. So hands to heart. Hinge forward. You've got it, to the right you go. Sit your hips way back and down. So create the deep seat and lift your chest up high enough that your spine is on an incline. So a lot of you lift your chest up higher. Yeah, and get a lot lighter in your bottom arm. Like there's almost no weight in your bottom arm. Or if your arms are open, it's light weight in your fingertips. Take 1 more breath in. Stay for the out. Reach up to the chair pose. And then fold, fingers to toes, forward fold. Catch your big toes, bend your knees. Drop your ribs down onto the top of your thighs. If this feels really tight to you, like you just can't reach your legs, take your feet wider and bend your knees more. So take up enough space that you can really fold down and have the full release available in this pose. Take a breath in. Blow all that air out, and then release your toes, chair pose. Pause for a moment. So you'll take your chair. In the pause, take your fingertips and stick them in your hip creases. So you're pushing your seat back. Really set your creases back and deep. Now, as your creases stay back, keep your chest forward and up. That's it. Take a breath in. As you exhale, push your hips back more. So what you're not going to do is round down. You're going to send your hips back more and then twist to the left side. So your chest stays upright. Yeah, so from your tailbone to your crown, it's like you're a gradual ascending line. Lift your chest up so much higher. Yes, like that. Now breathe right there. That little bit of lift like changes the whole world of the pose. Take 2 more breaths. The main thing you'll notice is you can breathe better, and that's key. 1 more breath in. Stay for the out. Now chair pose, reach up and fold. Gorilla pose. Slide your hands into the soles of your feet. For many of you, you'll have to take your feet even wider. So I know as soon as I take the fold, if I am running into hardness in the back of my legs, that's my tell that I've got to go wider with my feet. There's definitely the part of my brain that's like, real yoga people keep their feet this far apart. And so there's that ability to just kind of let that go. And for me, that's always the work. And to create your stance wide enough that you have the result of the back of your legs softening to whatever capacity you're capable of today, and your body's capable of today. Then take one more breath in, blow all the air out, and step off your feet. Crow pose at the top of your mat. Hands shoulder width, knees to the outsides of your upper arms, feet together. Now lean into your fingertips. Good. Grip your fingertips into the floor. So it's like two like talons gripping. Yeah, like really it's the fingertip side of your hand to grip. Now 2 more breaths. Keep breathing. Last breath in. Feet to the back of your mat, low push-up. Oh, nice, Ashley. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, press it back. Take a breath in. Blow all the air out. Look at your hands. Step, float, feet to your hands. Lift halfway up. Get really long and folds. Now press down through your feet. Roll up to stand. Take your time. At the top, reach high, stretch high. Eagle pose on the right side. Okay. Bring your feet together first. Right leg over. And then squeeze your 2 thighs together. It's like no light, no air, no space between your top thigh and your bottom thigh. Okay, take one more breath. And then step down, reach up, take a breath in. Left side eagle pose. Really squeeze. So if I have really low blood pressure, and I tend to come into this pose and I get like the tunnel vision starts to happen sometimes. So if that's you, squeeze right away. That's going to be your key to kind of keeping the lights on. Good. Step down, reach up, take a breath. Right side eagle pose. Okay, bend your standing knee enough that you can press your top thigh down into that thigh. Full breath in. Squeeze your legs on the out, and then step down. Reach, left side. And Josh has me standing right in front of his way, but his drishti is so good. Create your gaze like that like no matter what stands in front of you, like you are set. Focus, set, unshakable, unknockoutable. And then step down. Reach high, catch your hips. Keep your hands on your hips, lift your right knee up, standing leg raise. So with your leg lifted, we'll keep our knee bent tonight, but turn your 5 toes to the front of the room. You might be surprised that that's actually kind of challenging. You'll feel like the muscles in your lifted hip do a thing. With your toes pointing straight ahead, take your heel right out under your knee. So a lot of us tend to kind of hover our heel back, bring it right out underneath your knee. Now, can you lift your thigh a little bit higher? Stay right there. Take one more breath. And then take your right leg out to the side. See if you can see that your toes and your knee, they all point the same way. Yep, and your foot stays out underneath your knee. Good. Now you press your standing heel down and lift the top of your head up a little bit higher. One more breath. And come back to center. Hug your right knee up into your chest, and then send it back, airplane pose. So you'll kick your right heel towards the back of the room. This is like that leg lift we did at the beginning, where you'll turn your back toes down towards the floor. Keep steering your back toes down. Good. Bring your hands to heart center, and then open half moon. So left hand for most of us to a block. Yeah, even the water bottle, this might be the ticket right there, right? Be willing to give yourself that permission. Like, I know on my mat, I'd be like, yeah, I'll take a little block. Like, no, give yourself a nice big tall water bottle if that gives you the lift in the pose. And then breathe. And you're going to feel your buns burning, right? That's a pretty normal feeling in this pose. Continue to kick back through your lifted heel. Take one more breath in. And then 2 feet to the floor and fold. Bend your knees. Take the wide stance through your feet. Fold it all the way down for a breath. And then press down through your feet. Rise up. Standing leg raise on the left side. Catch, lift your left knee up high. Now set your lifted foot to 12 o'clock. Good. Everyone's got their foot right under their knee. That's perfect. Give it one more breath. And then take your leg out to the left. The challenge is, can you keep your hip points straight ahead? The temptation will be for your hips to swing out with your leg. Can you keep your hips forward and draw your leg out to the side? Good. Give that one more breath. And then come back to center, hug your knee up into your chest, airplane pose, kick back. Steer your back baby toes down. It'll be more than you think. So keep turning baby toe down. Good, Kelly. I'll kick back, heart forward, breathe in, hands to heart, right hand to the floor, half moon. 1. Be willing to give yourself too much block. 2. 3. Dave, kick back even more. Good. 4. Take a big breath in. Dave and everyone. And then 5. 2 feet to the floor and fold. All the way down. So you'll unload the back of your legs. Decompress your spine for a moment. Take a breath in. Beautiful. Blow all that air out. And then if you're using a strap or dancer pose, grab it. Press yourself up to stand. Dancer pose or standing bow on the right side. So if you're coming into this with standing bow, bend your right knee, reach back, catch the inside of your right ankle, and reach your left hand up high. Good. Now kick your right shin to the back of the room strong and relax your chest forward. Now breathe. Set your eyes to a point. And wherever you are in the pose, breathe and receive the pose. Take one more breath in and then step down. 2 feet to the floor. I like to take them wide. Take a breath in and out. And then left side dancer pose. Bend. Catch. This is one of those hand grips that like even teachers kind of get this confused sometimes. And then kick back strong. And really allow your chest to hang forward off of your back shin. Trust the strength of that leg enough. One more big breath in, stretch and reach, and then 2 feet to the floor. Feet wide, hands to your hips, take a breath, you got it. And then second set dancer pose. Bend your knee, right side, catch and go. Catch and go. And so as you come into the pose, what is there to restore in this pose? And I know in my own body, there is a lot of reopening happening through my front right hip that the sitting throughout the day has just started to close up a little bit. And so take one more breath, see if you can open up the space in the front of your right hip, and then step down and change sides. Two more breaths. What new space can you open? Take one more breath in, and then step down. 2 feet at the top of your mat, tree pose. Right foot to your left inner thigh. Bring your palms together over the center of your heart. Press them in. And then press your arms up. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Yeah, it can be nice to have your arms a little bit in front of you, not so pulled back, and then to really stretch all the way out through them. Get that full extension from your armpit to your fingertips. Take a breath and step down. Switch sides. Press down through your big toe mound. Hug in through your foot and your inner thigh. And then stretch all the way up and out through your elbows, your fingertips, all the way up to the top of your head. Breathe in and step down. 2 feet at the top of your mat. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain pose. and fold to the floor. Lift halfway up, low push-up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot between your hands, triangle pose. Good. Tall block to the outside of your right ankle. And go for a longer stance on this one. So a longer stance will give you more opportunity for your spine to stay long. Good. Stretch your bottom hand down to the block. Stretch your top arm up towards the ceiling. Then from fingertip to fingertip, get as long as you can. Take a breath in, widen your reach, blow all the air out, then press down through your feet, stand up. 10 toes face the left long side of your mat. Catch your waist, lift your heart with an inhale, and fold down between your feet. Side facing, wide-legged forward folds. Good. Fingers to the floor is a nice way to take on this pose, especially if there's a lot of space between your head and the earth. So give yourself that support. Bend your knees more, and this is really good for everybody. And then roll your sitting bones up towards the ceiling. Keep your knees bent as you do that. See if you can make the creases of your hips a little bit deeper and a little bit softer. Good. Breath in. Blow all the air out. Now keep your hands on the floor. Lift halfway up. And then turn to face the front for lizard pose. So hands on the inside of your front foot. Right foot to the right edge of your mat. You'll go all the way out to the right. Drop your back knee down onto the floor. Cool. So you can tuck or untuck your back toes. That's up to you. But your right foot, keep the sole on the floor, but turn your right foot out to point towards like the right corner of the room. Perfect. You can stay on your hands. You could come down to your forearms. Then pick the position where your chest is a little bit higher than your hips. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, I want to do this, but then my back, I can feel it. So you might feel more up here is where your chest is open and you can breathe. Once you've got that, now press your back toes into the floor. Do that until your back thigh starts to warm up a bit. Yeah, you've got that. You can keep that, or you can add on. You'll do that by bending your back knee. With your right hand, reach back and catch the inside of that foot. So you'll press back through your shin and reach forward through your chest. And breathe right there. All right, so you could bend your knee or you could not bend your knee. You could be right there where you're at. And then take 3 more deep breaths. You can even use your strap here. Let's give you 1 more breath. Can you grab the other side of it right here? Got it. Now press back through your shin, forward through your chest. Take 1 more breath in. Beautiful. Release your back foot, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Step back. That's a good one, right? Get a breath in and out. And then step your left foot between your hands, triangle pose. Go for that tall block. That was a game changer for me in my practice. When I gave up that the block meant anything about my level of expertise or anything like that, or what my like how good or not good my body was, and I just got to where my chest could be upright in the pose. All of a sudden, it was like, oh, I can breathe. I can actually breathe in the pose. I can stay in the pose. And breathing and staying is actually the key to shifting. Take 1 more breath. And then press down through your feet, stand up. 10 toes face the right long side of your mat. Lift your heart up high. And then exhale, fold all the way down. This time at the bottom, reach down. You can catch your shins. You can catch your ankles. You might be able to slide your fingers under the outsides of your feet. Either way, you'll bend your elbows and pull the top of your head down a little bit more. So you'll add a little upper body pull. And as you do that, press your feet down. Bend your knees enough that your sitting bones roll up. And feel into the length through your whole spine from tail to crown. Can you let gravity pull on your head a little bit more? 1 more breath. Clear it out, and then hands to the floor, turn to the front, lizard pose. Really give yourself permission to go wide. So I find that when my feet are wider, my hips can go down and forward more, and there's just more opening available that way. Good. And I love it. I can see some of you kind of rocking around, and that's good. Like if it moving around a little bit kind of helps you get into the tissue in your hip, go for that. And then you can stay here or bend your back knee, reach back, catch it with your left hand, and catch it from the inside. Now kick your shin back strong and reach your chest forward. So less like a back bend and more like you're trying to get as long through your spine as you can. Here, I can help you. Oh, that works. Cool. Now kick. Kick back, chest forward. Take one more breath in, really widen through your collarbones, and then 2 hands to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, blow it out, slide out to high plank, and then lower all the way down to the floor. Locust pose. Stretch your hands back, and then stretch your chest forward and your toes back. Lift up. Good. 5 breaths. Good. Pull your shoulders straight up towards the ceiling, and then press the top of your head forward to lengthen your neck up and out from between your shoulder blades. Take a breath in, get long crown to toe, and then lower all the way down to the floor. Fully relax for 1 breath, and then set it up again, locust, on the inhale, lift up. This part of the practice is called igniting. And in this space of restoration and how fire can actually be this really restorative element in our practice, feel how as your upper arms go up, there's this flush of heat into your upper back. Take 1 more breath, get long, and lower it all the way down to the floor. Relax totally for a breath, get some oxygen on that fire. And then floor bow. Bend your knees, catch the top of your ankles. Gather your knees into hip width, and then kick your shin bones back. Strong kick. Flex your feet, flex your ankles, press your heels up towards the ceiling as your shins go back. So you make a really strong handle with your feet and your shins, and then relax your upper body forward against that handle. Take 1 more breath in, and then lower it all the way down to the floor. You can tick-tock your legs side to side. 1 breath, and then second set. Floor bow, bend, catch, and kick. Good. Flex your ankles and turn your big toes up towards the ceiling. That's it. Now, wherever you're at, breathe. Take 1 more breath and lower it all the way down to the floor. Good. Wag your tail, windshield wipe your legs, and then plant your hands beside your lowest rib. On the inhale, peel your chest forward and up, upward facing dog, and press it back, belly back, downward facing dog. With a long spine, take a breath in and blow all the air out. Good. 1 camel pose. Drop to your knees and go for it. Standing high on your knees, hands to your tush. Lift the sides of your body up by pressing your shins down deep into the floor. And then lift your chest up towards the ceiling. Good. This pose is all about lift and length. So the back bend will take care of itself. You, the yogi on your mat, all you do is push your shins down and press your upper back up into your chest. Take 1 more breath in. Blow it out. Now on the inhale, press your shins down, lift your chest up. Downward facing dog, press back. Downward dog. I know it's tempting to not do the down dog, but maybe feel how when you hit that down dog, there's that ability to completely decompress your spine. Press your hands down, reach your seat way, way back, and take a breath in. Blow all the air out, look forward, and step or float to a seat. Lie onto your back, bridge pose. Plant your feet nice and wide, and then lift your hips up. Yeah, a lot of you walk your feet more forward. It's like, Erin, come out a little bit more. Yeah. Walk your feet like 1 or 2 inches forward towards the front of your mat. You see how your hips kind of got to go up a little bit higher? And then press your feet. And yeah, if you feel your hips can now go up, that's a good length. If your feet are in so close that your hips kind of get stuck, you're going to get stuck in your low back. So take your base long enough that you have the ability to lift your hips up. And then continue to drive your heels down. Continue to press the top of your thighs up. And stretch your chest towards your chin. So you're getting all that length on the back of your spine, the front, and the left and the right. And take one more breath. And lower it all the way down to the floor. You can windshield wiper your legs side to side 1 time each. And then setting up second set bridge. Or set up for wheel. So if it's wheel, hands wide and deep. And lift all the way up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a breath in. And 5. Tuck your chin, come down. Get a breath on the floor. You might windshield wiper here. And then set it up again. Feet wide and forward. And then press up. Bridge your wheel. Be willing to go wide with your base. Wide feet, wide hands to free up your shoulders and your hips to open. Good. Now 2 more breaths. Good, Dave. 1 more breath in. Tuck your chin, come all the way down. We're going to do 2 more of those. Get a breath on the floor. The wider can feel a little bit hairier, right? Because it doesn't feel quite as stable, but it's much, much freer on your body. Bridge your wheel, set it up, and then press up. Especially the wider hands. You got 2 more breaths. Unleash your breathing. Last breath in. Tuck your chin, come all the way down. Get your breath. Get your windshield wiper. We've got 1 more. And then lift up. Bridge your wheel. Dave, go wider with your hands. Yes. And then press up. There you go. See how much more you got? Like it just, your shoulders have more space. 2 more breaths. Chest to the back, shins to the front. Take a breath in. And then lower it all the way down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Supta Baddha. Feet together, knees wide. Rest your hands on the front of your body. But keep your eyes open. Open your eyes and see a point. I always feel like right after wheel, there's just a lot going on. There's a lot of sensations and thoughts and emotions. And as you get still here, see if you can just relax with what is exactly the way it is. Good. And then gather your knees together. Hug your knees into your chest, dead bug pose. Knees wide. You can catch your shins and pull your knees towards your shoulders. You can reach up, catch your feet, and pull your thighs towards the sides of your waist. You kind of choose based off of what allows you to keep the back of your pelvis on the floor, but at the same time, create some space on the back side of your legs. Good. Breath in. Full breath out. And then release your legs. Okie doke. Grab a block if you have it. If you don't have a block, grab the blanket. Block is preferable. With your blanket, kind of roll this up into a chunk. So you have like this little roll. It doesn't have to be pretty or perfect or anything like that. You just want like a chunk of a blanket to work with. Once you have either the block or the blanket, you can look at me real quick and then we'll do, because you'll probably be able to see it better this way. You're going to lie onto your back. You're going to put the block or the blanket on the front of your knees. And then you're going to put your elbows on the block or the blanket. So you're in this kind of shape, right? Go for that. Perfect. Now, flex your feet, toes up towards the sky. Press your shins. You're probably already pressing your shins and your thighs and your arms into the block to some extent. Push a little bit more. And as you push, feel how you can now pull your front ribs towards each other and down towards the center of your torso a bit. Breathe right there. So you're there for 30 seconds. In the 30 seconds, make this like the maximum amount you can push and breathe and stay at the same time. So you're allowing yourself to build up some tension, restoring this quality of stability around your spine, around the center of your body for 10 more seconds. Really good breathing, everybody. Yeah, take one more breath. And then undo the block, hug your knees to your chest. So give yourself a moment there. All right, we're going to add on. So you'll do the same thing. Blanket or block goes to your knees. Your elbows will go to the blanket or the block. Set up that same shape. Press, elbows to block, thighs to block, or a blanket, whatever it is, and hug your front ribs down. Now, take a big breath in. With the exhale, you're going to press your right foot forward. Hold the blanket or the block with your elbows in your left thigh. Good. Take a breath in. Stay. And on the exhale, pull your right knee back. Take a breath in. Press your left foot forward. Take a breath in. And then pull your knee back. So you're going to keep doing that for 30 seconds. So I know this seems like ab work, right? And you're feeling your abs for sure. But this is breath work. So see if you can move only on the exhales. And see if you can feel that there's this quality that something is restored when your body moves and breathes in a rhythm like this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Drop the block. Plant your feet. Windshield wipe your legs a little side to side. Looks like a good idea, Erin. And we've got one more of these. All right, look up real quick. So you're going to use your blanket in a slightly different way. You're also going to need a piece of floor. So like Allison at home, if you don't have grab a blanket. Doesn't have to be, it could be a towel. It could be like a blanket over the top of your couch or something like that. Something that's blankety that'll slide. You're going to use a piece of the hardwood that's in here. This will go on the floor next to your mat. So let me demo it on the mat over here. So the move I'm teaching you is your key move for either jumping forward in sun salutations, jumping forward to sit down, or jumping back from your fold into a chaturanga. So to do this, you're going to have your hands on the mat as though you were in downward dog. So this is your shoulder width distance hands. Your feet are together. And you could even start in some form of a squat, but your shoulders and your hips are at the same height. That's the key. What you will not do is sit down, which will be tempting. What you will do is keep your butt up at shoulder height. So on the inhale, you're going to slide back. And on the exhale, you're going to pull back in. Butt stays up the whole time. Inhale, slide back. And then exhale, slide in. Okay? 30 seconds. Kind of claim some floor. It doesn't have to be, you might be at like a diagonal or something like that. Someone can come out over here. There's like this whole open pool in the middle of the room of space you can use. All right, and your time, so you already started. Time starts now. Right, so it's not, you could do pikes. This is not so much a pike. Can you pull your knees in towards your arms? Yeah. That's like a whole new thing, right? Your body's like, wait, what? What is this? Halfway, so 15 seconds down. Good. 8. If you're like cruising, can you pick it up? See if you can go a little faster. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop to your knees. Oh, good work. Now, if you feel tempted, actually, I guess we won't do it yet. Go ahead and downward facing dog, downward dog. I'm getting ahead of myself. Down dog. Down dog. From down dog, half pigeon on the right side. Half pigeon on the right side. So I know that if I had just done that, when I come into this pose, I'm really going to feel like the left side of my abdominal muscles and my left hip stretching, like that whole left side kind of feels a little more obvious to me than if I didn't do the exercise. And it's kind of the cool thing about a yoga practice and like the yoga poses. In this style, we do almost the same practice all the time, the same sequence, I should say, same poses. And the beauty of that is that as you come to your mat and as you go through these familiar poses, you begin to recognize that every day they're in fact different. Take one more breath. And then plant your hands, step back, down dog. You'll go to half pigeon on the other side. And so there'll definitely be, for those of you in like your first 5 years of practice, your poses will change even as you do them the same thing all the time. Your poses will start to change. Like your shin in this pose will start to get more like parallel to the top of your mat. And your upper body will be able to drop down closer to the floor. That will all happen. And then there'll come a point in your practice where you're not going to really change like that anymore. You kind of get to the edge of the pose. And then what begins to change isn't so much the pose anymore. It's your approach to the pose. And so whether you're in that beginner phase where like your body is still adapting, or if you've been practicing for a long time and these poses are kind of like in your bones at this point, whichever way you are in the pose, whichever stage you're in, come from this space, this very, very moment of receiving the pose exactly as it is. And that's an advanced practice, no matter how long you've been practicing. Good. And then you'll press up to your hands. Listen close. You'll keep your front leg, for y'all, it's your left leg. Keep that out in front and swing your right leg around. Plant your foot to the outside of your bottom thigh. So see if that got that. Good. And once you got that, see if you can drop your right butt cheek down. If you kind of lose the floor a little bit, you might be able to arrange your foot so that you can have it down. But if you go to drop your butt and you totally lose the floor, straighten your bottom leg out. So you want both sitting bones on the floor. That's the key. And then whichever one you're working with, you'll hug your thigh in. Use that almost like a brace to lift your spine up nice and tall. Take a breath. And on the exhale, you'll twist over your right shoulder. Keep your arms around your leg. So you won't quite reach back. Keep hugging your knee into center. Sit up tall and look over your right shoulder. And see if you can get that stretch on the outside of your hip, but then also all the way up through your spine. Take one more breath in. See me twist a little bit more on the breath out. And then come back to center. Switch sides. So you'll turn one breath, twist the other way. And then come back to center and switch. So you'll cross the other way. Hug your thigh into center. So I like to think of this, just give like your leg a right big hug like that. Sit up nice and tall, and then look over top of your right shoulder. Your left shoulder. Yeah. Press both sitting bones evenly down. Right, left, where are you going? Who even knows? And so here's that moment where wherever you are in the pose and whichever way you're looking, just accept right where you're at. Both sitting bones down, head up high, take a breath in, stay for the out, and come back to center. Stretch both legs down the front of your mat. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and then fold over your thighs. Seated forward fold. Bend your knees enough that you have that result of release on the back of your legs. And here's your blanket can come in nice. I'll show you my favorite. You give it a little roll, and then you stick that under your knees. Yeah. You can go wider with your feet. There you are. Just like that's great. 2 more breaths. Last breath in. Blow everything out. Drop your head all the way down and in, and then sit up. Reverse table. Plant your hands behind. Plant your feet in front, and then lift your hips, lift your heart. If it feels good, let your head drop back. Take a big breath in. Open your mouth, make some sound. And then lower to your butt. Fish pose. Legs forward, forearms down. Press your forearms down, lift your chest up. And then reach your head back towards the wall, not the wall, the floor behind you. So if you're going without a block, the key is you're going to reach your shoulders back past your elbows. And a block is great. Yeah, you don't have one, so go back this way. So you're going to just slide like you're on a slip and slide. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So your arms will stay. You're going to go back behind them. Keep going back, keep going back. Yeah, so there's good. Press down and press your thoracic spine up. There it is. Now everyone take a big breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. And if you're on the block, roll to the side. If not, tuck your chin, lie down. Reach your legs up towards the ceiling. Shoulder stand. If you want to play with headstand, you're doing that at the back of your mat. Handstand at the front of your mat. And ultimately, create a way to get upside down. What I like to focus on in this pose is the feeling of blood, I guess, or circulation, but just that feeling of nutrition, nectar, circulation dropping from my feet all the way down to the center of my pelvis. And it takes playing with your legs being straight enough that they're really reaching upright, but soft enough If you're in headstand, you can hug your knees down towards your chest and hold it. So same kind of action we did with that the towel. Now see if you can hover right there. Can you hover right there? Nice. If you are in shoulder stand, come back to plow. And then headstand, make your way down to child's pose. Plow, bend your knees to your ears, deaf yogi. And then everyone roll down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest at the bottom. Drop your knees to the right, so your arms look off to the left. Supine twist. And then gather your knees back to center and change sides. Deep rest. And then gently gather your knees back to the center of your body. Hug your nose up into your knees and your knees up into your nose. Wrap your arms all the way around your shins. So see if you can catch opposite elbow with opposite hand around your shins. And now squeeze. Squeeze your legs, squeeze your arms, squeeze the gap between your nose and your knees. Blow all the air out. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then release Shavasana. Stretch your legs out, stretch your arms out. Feel into that sense of having been fully wrung out. In essence, the quality of restoration is removing what never belonged there in the first place. And as you move through the practice tonight, wringing out tension, wringing out lethargy, wringing out dullness, focus your attention on breathing and feeling what is left when those pieces are gone. And take a deep breath in. Open your mouth and let it go. And gently hug your knees into your chest and roll to your side. Press up to a seated position. You can sit on your towel, your blanket. You could sit on a block. So don't hesitate to bring in the tools that you need in order to sit up tall and full. And then bring your hands together over the center of your heart. Press your palms together. Wrap your shoulders back onto your upper back. And then lift up to the top of your head. So you're taking up your full space. And right into the center of your heart, that space within. Take a big breath in. And clear it out. And then pause for a moment to hold your attention into that space. That when all the extra is wrung out, the extra energy, tension, stress, thoughts, what is left underneath all of that is space and possibility. And as you feel into that space and that possibility, set an intention for the rest of your night, possibly into the rest of your day tomorrow. And we'll close with 3 final ohms. Take a breath in. Bring your thumb to the center of your forehead. Take a deep breath in. Blow it out. And together we say, Namaste. Namaste. Great job tonight, everybody. Awesome work. The towels, you could just throw them in a pile in front of the speakers over there. Allison, it was good to see you on screen. It's been a minute. Otherwise, everyone, have a great rest of your night. If you have any questions, always feel free. You're welcome. Thank you. I don't know. They've been missing.